Okay, the video we're going to be watching today is pretty much everything we know about Silksong before launch. It's an hour long, made by Mossbag. This might have, well, this was everything we know about Silksong before launch, so it should not have spoilers. Spoilers for Hollow Knight if you care about that, but the game's kind of already been out for a while, so I feel like it's not even worth mentioning spoilers. We got through the Hollow Knight lore video one last time, and now it's time for like the kind of post Hollow Knight stuff. Wait, is Silksong a prequel? Dude, I actually don't even know. Is Silksong a prequel or a sequel? Well, whatever. We're gonna watch this one anyway. And I feel like it was important to watch along with the other one. It's a sequel? Okay. Dude, somebody left a comment on my last video saying it was a prequel. You liar. You freaking liar. That was crazy. I knew that was crazy. So yeah, we're gonna give it a shot because I didn't realize that Mossbag was like the Hollow Knight guy. Not the Hollow Knight, the Hollow Knight guy. I had some people telling me in the comments too that they sacrificed this guy in order to get Silksong, whatever that means. It sounds horrifying, but I guess it means we gotta watch him. So we're gonna keep watching him, right? So yeah, let me just shut up and we'll see what we learn. We'll see what we learn.
I didn't think we'd get this far. Silksong is finally being released on September 4th, 2025, and Team Cherry has decided to announce this information with a brand new trailer, showcasing just how far the game has come since that first trailer released back in February 19th.
Dude, I remember everybody went crazy when this thing was announced. It was freaking insane. And you'd think with all the hype, I'd go to actually check out Hollow Knight, but I never did, dude. Fat L for Piper.
1963.
That's me, by the way.
But that's not all. Team Cherry was also interviewed by Jason Schreier, where we learn what the process of developing Silksong was like. Apparently Silksong took so long because Team Cherry was just having so much fun making the game.
That's actually crazy. Wait, that's actually crazy. What? The pros were just like having fun doing it for the love of the game. That's how you knew it was going to be a good game. That's amazing. Awesome devs.
In other words, Silksong was literally stuck in development heaven. In fact, Team Cherry enjoyed working on Silksong so much, they even plan to support the game into the future with more DLC as well. So if you were worried we'd have nothing else to wait for after September 4th, you can put your mind at ease.
Sorry, it's not even a minute in and I keep stopping. W devs, why? Because you don't release DLC along with the fucking base game, like another company I know. Nintendo!
But that's not all.
Thank you, Team Cherry.
At the same time the trailer dropped, Silksong was also playable at Gamescom 2025. What is Gamescom, you ask? I don't know. Kinda feels like it's just E3 again, except it's in Germany. And Jeff Keighley is there. The Gamescom 2025 demo featured the same areas as the E3 2019 demo, but with a number of tweaks and changes. Quite a few members of the Hollow Knight community even had the chance to try the game out. One of these creators, Blue SR, a Hollow Knight speedrunner, was even able to play the demo enough to get really comfortable with the controls. So it was interesting to hear his breakdown of how Silksong feels to play.
Are you telling me that he sped-run the demo? What? Oh my fucking god. Silksong fans are fucking crazy. Huh? Fun fact, the game was supposed to be released on the Wii U as it was a crowdfunded goal, but it got stuck in dev heaven to the point the console dead as they broke that one Oh, that sucks. Anyway, who's buying a freaking Wii U, man? Who the frick bought a Wii U? Raise your hand if you bought a Wii U. Just kidding. Don't raise your hand because nobody did, so it doesn't matter.
After all, Hornet is a much more complex character than the Knight. She can sprint, dash attack, dive attack, air dash, wall run, ledge grab, sidestep, harpoon dive, backflip, down dash, heal mid-air, and she even has a dedicated aura farming button that can consume silk for a little extra flair. She can even automatically run over short ledges.
Wait, that's awesome.
What can't this girl do? But that's not all. Team Cherry has also updated Steam with new screenshots, trading cards, and Steam badges that hint even more at just what is waiting for us in Silksong. But that's not all. PlayStation uploaded a different version of the release trailer with 3 unique shots as well. But that's not all. The United Arab Emirates ban on crude oil originating from the Sudan is finally starting to impact the global crude oil trade market. So we've got a lot to talk about today.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I don't think you're ready. I don't think Mossbag is funny, guys. He's had like, what, it was like 5 years since that Hollow Knight video and he still uses the same kind of gags? Really? He had 5 years to make his jokes better and he just doesn't? This is ridiculous. I'm just kidding. I love this guy. I just manipulated you.
This analysis is going to be diving into a lot of different aspects of Silksong, from the structure of the early part of the game, to several of the game's bosses, to what I think is the overall story for the game. This is the last chance I get to discuss all this stuff.
He can make the same joke 5 times and I'm still gonna laugh.
Before the game comes out. So I'm just gonna talk about pretty much everything we know regarding Silksong's characters, world, and gameplay. I'm also going to be spoiling some late game parts of Hollow Knight too, so if you don't want to get spoiled for things, you might want to skip out on this one.
Well, hey,
in my previous
thank God we watched his almost complete guide to the Hollow Knight lore, which we did. We reacted to on the channel. Did you know that? Did you know that? Then you should watch it. You should watch it.
Analysis videos, I went shot by shot through each trailer, describing them in detail. But since a lot of the shots in this new trailer are similar to shots we've already seen in old trailers, I want to do things a little different this time. Let's start by comparing the old trailer shots from 2019 and 2022 to these new 2025 shots. It's pretty clear to see that Silksong has changed a bit over the last 6 years. Everything looks more vibrant. Areas are darker in general.
I just realized, is this just going to be gameplay? Wait. Is this just gameplay? I thought this was like lore. Last bit is lore. Okay. I thought the whole thing was gonna be lore. It's speculation. But the game is already out! Okay, it's fine.
And colors are more saturated. The most obvious difference is in Hornet's cloak, which is a more striking red color in this new trailer. But it's not just Hornet. Deep Docks looks more red, Farfields look more green, the steps look more brown, Greymoor ironically looks more green.
The colors do look a lot better here, that's true.
The Lace 2 arena looks more blue. It seems like almost every region has seen tweaks to its color space. Areas like Bellhart and Deep Docks also look much more dilapidated. Structures look more worn down and grimy, which seems to lean in more to the idea of pharloom being a kingdom in crisis. I'm a big fan of these changes, and I love the way the new trailer looks. It feels a bit more moody. But if you're like me, you're probably wondering where these areas are in relation to one another. This is something I've speculated about for years, and this trailer has finally given us a shot of Pharloom's map. And this map shows off so much, it's kind of insane. Like,
I've seen the map for this game, okay? I know this was made like before Silksong. I've seen the whole map for this game. Holy shit. Guys, it's freaking huge. It's freaking huge. It's kind of it's really intimidating. I look at that and I don't even want to play the game. I get scared.
Like I said, we really are spoiling a good chunk of Silksong's early game, and this map is the main culprit of that. That said, I think Team Cherry tried their best to mitigate the spoilers. I'm pretty sure Team Cherry manually placed these silver and yellow pins to try and cover up certain points of interest. But even with that, there's still a lot of information to be gleaned from this. So let's use this map as a vehicle to talk about the various regions of Pharloom one last time before the game releases. The starting area, shown off extensively in the demos,
this area is so pretty.
Grotto, which is partly cut off in this map. That said, the layout looks nearly identical to how it looked in the demo. We can see a bench pin on the map, which corresponds to this bench found in the ruined chapel. On the edge of the Moss Grotto is Bone Bottom, Silksong's equivalent of Hollow Knight's Dirtmouth. There are 2 pins here, one for a bench, and another pin with a rosary on it, likely a shop. There's probably another pin here too, but Team Cherry has covered it up with a map marker. Above Bone Bottom is a giant chasm, the same one Hornet fell from during the game's opening cutscene. We'll examine that a little later. Another point of interest is this strange structure, which looks identical to structures found in 2 other regions of the map, Shellwood and Deep Docks. I believe these structures are where Hornet can find the Weavers, who each give Hornet a unique silk skill.
Actually, I didn't even mean to pause that, but I'll say something anyway. It is so freaking cool that they gave Hornet so much more abilities. I mean, I feel like the Hollow dude, he's not the Hollow Knight, so I feel bad calling him the Hollow Knight. I'm calling him the Hollow dude. our little guy. He has like a bunch of stuff he could do, but I feel like every time I see a clip of Hornet, she's always doing some random thing, and it's cool. I like that you get so many freaking abilities. Although you do this like get a lot as well in Hollow Knight, but I like that. I guess that they carried that over to Silksong, if not like expanded that a bit more.
But I'm going to save that discussion until later in the video. All I'll say for now is I would not want to shove one of those up my ass. To the right of
I almost choked on my pizza, but I'm muted, so you didn't even fucking hear it. Okay.
the Moss Grotto is the Marrow, which appears to be the final form of the Forest of Bones, an area planned for the original Hollow Knight. This section of Pharloom also features a repeating landmark, these Bell Shrines. One of these shrines can be seen at the end of the demos, and another one briefly appears in the new trailer. 3 other shrines can be seen in Deep Docks, Shellwood, and Greymoor. What exactly are these bells for, you ask? Lore-wise, I don't really have any good theories, but gameplay-wise, it's probably a progression gate. I'm guessing you'll have to ring some or all of these bells to access the final boss. Not far from the bell is a silver ring, which appears to be covering up a different pin. I'm pretty sure this is Team Cherry trying to hide what's really under here. But we actually know what this is, because Deep Docks has the exact same silver ring covering an identical pin. And we know from the Gamescom demo that this room is a fast travel station, given that it looks identical to the one shown off in the 2022 Xbox trailer. We also know what the symbol for the fast travel locations looks like, and it appears to be an exact match for what's hidden under this silver ring. So, nice try, Team Cherry. I just totally owned you. There are a total of 5
You fucking owned it, buddy.
fast travel pins on this map, all covered by these silver rings, and I'm not going to bother pointing them out. You can check the map out yourself if you really want to know where they all are. Speaking of pins, the Marrow is also where Hornet will meet Chakra, Silksong's version of Cornifer. Chakra belongs to a tribe that resides on the edge of Pharloom, and she's both a warrior and cartographer. Her tribe is also possibly related to Elder Hu, from Hollow Knight. Hornet can collect maps from her, and there are even sprites of Hornet wearing rings similar to Chakra. Whether she gets them
Oh, I guess this is the thing that I was talking about. Like, she's got a whole bunch of cool stuff that she can wear.
from her,
It's cool.
and there are even sprites of Hornet wearing
Yeah.
rings similar to
neat.
Chakra. Whether she gets them from Chakra herself or her tribe, we'll just have to wait and see. Hornet might also meet Shurma here, a small bug on their own pilgrimage to the Citadel. He appears to pop up in various parts of Pharloom, and it seems like he's going to need Hornet's help along.
Isn't that the guy that goes Fami tiwa sutawati nali tuta fami? Is that not? I don't know what this is, but I've seen clips of them. Very cute. If he dies, I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna kill someone.
Along the way. After the Marrow is Deep Docks, parts of which we've seen in demo footage. The bugs in the Deep Docks work tirelessly to fill these metal containers with materials such as smoke rock and sweet smelt. These materials are likely used in the creation of all the bells scattered across Pharloom. From a lore tablet in the region, we can see that their shipments are measured using music notation, and that their shipments are scheduled to the ringing of a bell. Judging from the map in the trailer, less than half of the Deep Docks have been revealed in the demos. There's an icon hidden underneath a silver ring here, but it's not a fast travel location. In the demos, this location is the spot for a massive bench with bells hanging over it. But this doesn't look like a regular bench pin to me. This unique type of bench was actually mentioned in the interview Team Cherry had with Edge magazine back in 2020. They were described as holy benches, and they differed from regular benches in that they featured a workbench where Hornet could string up rosaries. Rosary strings are items in Silksong that can be broken to gain rosaries, the game's currency. The reason you might want to convert your rosaries into a rosary string is because they aren't dropped upon death like rosaries are. Similar to Hollow Knight, Silksong has a corpse run mechanic, where your currency is dropped upon death, and you only get one chance to get back to the place where you died and recover that currency.
Oh,
This
wait.
mechanic
That is so cool. It's like a little cocoon because she's a little spooter. That's very cute. Oh, that's so charming.
was very punishing in the early game of Hollow Knight, and holy benches seem like a method of easing that pain for players in Silksong. And it would make sense that these special benches get their own unique pins on the map. A shop pin sits in the middle of Deep Docks, which we know is Forge Daughter's shop. We see her shop in the latest trailer, and she sells Hornet tools in exchange for both rosaries and some kind of
Oh, question. Are these traps in Hollow Knight as well, or is this an exclusive Silksong thing? I've seen so many clips of people killing bosses with those traps, and I think that's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. Like, that's what I mean. Like, whenever I look at a new clip of this game, like, I don't know what's going on because she's got, like, a new item or a new ability. It's a shame, though. Why can't I have spikes in Hollow Knight? What the hell? Give it to me.
Resource. To the right of Deep Docks is Farfields, a region filled with updraft currents and long stretches of open space filled with tall grass. A new town called Pilgrim's Rest can be seen in this region. In the Bloomberg interview, Team Cherry mentioned that part of what made Silksong more complex to work on than Hollow Knight was the inclusion of multiple towns. The only proper town to speak of in Hollow Knight is Dirtmouth, but in Silksong we know of Bone Bottom, Bellhart, this enclave of pilgrims in the Citadel, and now Pilgrim's Rest. Silksong is also probably going to feature a village created by a Kickstarter backer. This was the single biggest backer tier, and only one person snagged it back in 2014.
What? I'm sorry, we can't just scroll past that. Go past that. Design a village. Design a hidden village with its own theme, villagers, and subquests. Work with us to design the style and layout of your little village, and original watercolor artwork of your villagers, and original watercolor. What? Dude, this. I keep forgetting that this game just started out like it just started on Kickstarter, man. That is an insane freaking, and only for like 1,200. Why do I feel like that's actually such a good deal? Huh? Bro, if I was a dev, I would have charged like 5,000 for that shit. Oh my god. Wow. That is a very cool reward. Because I've seen some other games do this in the past, like for Kickstarters, where they like get to add a character in the game, and it always feels like super like self-inserty. Like you can kind of clock which character it is. So I feel like this is like really hard to get done right. But like from what I've seen of like the aesthetics and everything, honestly, it looks neat. It looks like the game, if that makes sense. One of the only good Kickstarters. I know, I'm a bit traumatized from Kickstarters. Oh man.
In 2014.
That's really neat though.
In an old development map of Hallownest, the village was referred to as
God.
Lion Village. Now I figured this was in reference to ant lions, bugs that hide in pits and catch unsuspecting prey. But I asked Team Cherry to tell us more about this lion village, to which they said it was full of lions. Not ant lions, lions. And since we all know Team Cherry would never tweet something that could mislead fans in any way, shape, or form, I am 100% expecting real lions in Silksong. Now, I would have preferred wolves, but obviously
I'm just really a big fan of the way this guy functions. I just want to clear the record on that right now.
Obviously, I'll take what I can get. That brings the total to 5 towns. That's like 5 or 6 times the number of towns that were in Hollow Knight. And it's not just there being more towns, it's the fact that Silksong is going to feature an entire quest system. We've seen very little of how this quest system is going to work. There are bulletin boards Hornet can check in the various towns that feature missions she can elect to complete. They fall into 4 categories. Gather quests involve finding objects in the world. Wayfarer quests seem to involve finding secret locations. And Hunt and Grand Hunt quests likely involve fighting specific enemies or mini-bosses. It seems like these quests can even involve other characters. We've seen a few clips of Hornet fighting alongside Garmund and Zaza, who are basically like Don Quixote if the windmills he fought were actually evil. But we haven't seen any other NPCs help Hornet on her quest, and we just know so little about how quests will work overall. It's probably the biggest mystery surrounding Silksong's gameplay at the moment. Getting back to the map of Farfields, it appears the giant golem boss we've been seeing since all the way back in 2019 will be stationed in the lower part of the map. The map actually continues off to the right, but the trailer doesn't show us what's over there. At the top of Farfields is a deep chasm that goes up into Greymoor. Back in 2019, Team Cherry said Greymoor was the largest area they had ever designed. Unfortunately, the region isn't entirely visible on the map in this shot.
I wonder, can you still like access Dirtmouth in like Silksong? Is that a part of the map, or is she just in like a totally different place?
So we can't tell if Team Cherry is lying to us or not. They also explain that Greymoor is infested with crawl bugs and dust roaches, and that the former tenders of the land have become haunted. The most noteworthy feature of Greymoor are these
totally different? A different kingdom. Okay. Interesting.
massive twin towers. It appears these towers store massive stalks of silk. It's said that the bugs of Pharloom engage in the cult-like behavior of transporting silk to the citadel. So it seems the bugs of Greymoor are in the business of storing silk, possibly so it can be taken up by the pilgrims to gain favor with the citadel caste. Team Cherry has also stated that Hornet can scale a soaring warlord's tower at some point during the game, which might be
When was this video uploaded? Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. So I think it was before the game dropped. Honestly, when I clicked on, dude, I thought this was gonna be like a lore thing, like kind of like a lore thing. This is like gameplay stuff. I want the lore. Give me the lore.
referring to one of these towers. So it's possible that Greymoor is suffering under the influence of some powerful bug who has taken advantage of Pharloom's current state to gain power in the area. In the middle of Greymoor is an area called Halfway Home. We've never had an official confirmation on what the Halfway Home looks like, but I'm fairly certain it's this area. It looks like a Greymoor interior, and it gives off a more friendly vibe. If I'm right, then the Halfway Home is also the location of the recently revealed NPC character, New. New is some kind of weird snail-like creature. Team Cherry had originally planned for snails to appear in Hollow Knight, and they would have been awesome, but unfortunately they were ultimately cut from the game. Team Cherry must have realized their mistake and are finally correcting it with New.
Yay!
Similar to how Zote was a self-insert for William Pellin,
What?
I strongly believe that New is a self-insert for William Pellin.
Zote? Is he really? It's Mossbag. I can't tell. I haven't played enough of the game that I could like prove him wrong, but it just sounds so wrong.
New tries to kiss Hornet in the trailer, and she slaps him in the face. I like this because it nicely contrasts how Hornet reacts to a character trying to kiss her, versus when a character tries to kiss the knight. It really speaks to the difference in the two protagonists' personalities. That is to say, Hornet actually has one. We don't know much about New, other than apparently they've been forced to live in the attic of this place. They seem to be writing on a scroll, likely implying that they are some kind of master scholar or gifted musician.
Sorry, just to kind of jump on what he said about the whole personality thing. I am like, okay, again, I haven't played Silksong. I'm still not even done with my playthrough of Hollow Knight. But from the few clips I've seen of Hornet on TikTok, oh my god, her personality looks so fun and enjoyable. And this is like, I guess, like slight spoiler for something that happens in Silksong. So if you don't want to hear, close your ears, haha, la 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 la. But I think at some point she gets like jumped by these bugs and they put her in a cage and they steal her little cloak, her red cloak. She busts out of the cage and like, oh my god, obviously like she goes to get the cloak back. She drops down from the fucking roof to jump on this guy and snaps his neck, grabs the cloak and the needle. Oh, bro, that looks so funny. It was so badass and so funny at the same time. Like, cracking the neck. Oh. No, I'm sorry, but our little guy from Hollow Knight, he could never. She's so charismatic. Yeah, I feel like I've actually never seen dialogue from her, ever. I've only just see her do stuff and her little, like, voice lines. And I found it, like, so charming, even with just that, which I think says insane, 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 insane.
Their Steam trading card entry says the following: cut them with your blade, cut them with your mature spirit, cut them with your savage adult heart. I'm not sure who the speaker and listener are supposed to be in this sentence, but I assume it's New speaking to Hornet here. The fact that New calls Hornet an adult implies that they are a child, which kind of makes the whole kissing moment a little more innocent. It's also nice to know that Hornet's method for correcting a child's behavior is violence. My biggest problem with Hollow Knight is that I just didn't find the main character relatable. On the far right...
Well, I'd hope not. Of course you not find him relatable. You are the most interesting and... interesting and confusing specimen I've ever laid my eyes on, Mossbag. There is no way that you're gonna feel even remotely similar to a corpse with virtually zero personality. Game's not called Goofy Night. Exactly.
Right side of Greymoor is a landmark known as Craw Lake. My guess is that this area is the Hermit Crab Bay from the 2019 reveal trailer. There's some kind of large structure on top of the Craw Lake. Perhaps this structure goes down into the lake, similar to the teacher's archive. This might be the location of this screenshot. Hornet is using her cloak to float by some electrifying sea anemone type creatures. I also think this part of the map is close to the location of this new room from the release trailer. This appears to be a resting place for the Fleas, a band of travelers making their way through Pharloom. They've previously appeared in a different region of Greymoor, and it seems they can appear in multiple locations, given that they travel around in giant carriages. Even their bench is on wheels. The Fleas in Silksong seem to act similar to the grubs in Hollow Knight. You can find Fleas scattered across Pharloom and recruit them to join the travelers. We don't know exactly what the Fleas want, but they can offer Hornet special foods and drinks, perhaps explaining the purpose of this bubbling cauldron. To the left of Greymoor is Bellhart, a tall, slender region filled top to bottom with bells. Bells are scattered all over the land of Pharloom, and Bellhart seems to be ground zero for this phenomenon. It seems to be situated in the center of the map, which makes me think these bells are being dumped down into Bellhart from somewhere above, likely the citadel. There appears to be a secret entrance to Bellhart from the Marrow below, and I'm guessing this big bell-filled room right here is the room we saw during the Nintendo E3 Direct from 2019. The reveal trailer from PlayStation might have given us a glimpse of one residence of Bellhart, this centipede, millipede type bug that is wrapped all around the room. We don't know who this character is or what they do, but I absolutely love their design. Down and to the right of Bellhart is a wide but somewhat narrow region known as Hunter's March. I suspect this section of the map is where the hunter ant enemies reside. So why do I think the hunter ants live in Hunter's March? Well, we can see some kind of structure here in this room, and this structure seems to be a massive statue of Hunter Queen Carmelita, the ruler of the hunter ants. I get the vibe Carmelita is some huge superstar, and the hunter ants are her ferocious stand.
Whoa, this scene looks so freaking cool. Like they're all watching, they're like watching her duke it out, and this like boss design looks pretty neat. Look at that. Freaky. I like it.
This area underneath the statue is probably the entrance to the ant colony's home base, and I can't wait to see Hornet's reaction to all of this. I also think Hunter's March was once the location where Hornet would meet the Huntress. This character is described as an old predator, awaiting the birth of her children. She is also apparently very knowledgeable of Pharloom's history, and she isn't a big fan of the Citadel caste that controls things. We just recently got a new clip of a creature that looks awfully similar to the Huntress. Some people think this is a different member of the same species, but I think Team Cherry redesigned the Huntress to make her look more like an actual predator. In the original clip, she's awkwardly sitting on the eggs of her children, in a very non-threatening way. She even has her back turned to the doorway. What kind of predator would ever do that? In the new clip, she rests on this really cool makeshift spiderweb-like structure. Her brood might be these small webbed eggs scattered across the ground, but I can't tell where this room is located. It might be somewhere in Greymoor or Shellwood, but I'm just not sure. There are 2 silver rings on the map here, but neither one of them has anything underneath them. I assume the far right one is related to the ant colony home base, so maybe the one on the left is where the Huntress is. To the left of Bellhart is an area we now know is called Shellwood. This area appears to be a large swamp. A big question surrounding this area is the nature of these strange stalactites sticking out of the ceiling. But I think the name of this region might just answer my question. Shellwood is the material Zote's sword, Life Ender, is made from. It appears to be analogous to wood in the world of Hollow Knight. So I'm guessing these stalactites were originally a
Wait, Zote? What the heck? Oh, from
analogous to wood in the world of Hollow Knight.
Oh, I didn't know you see him there.
Stalactites were originally a source for Shellwood,
and
their current state is meant to evoke images of deforestation. This is probably all a result of the Citadel, in a similar way to how Deep Dogs is forced to work hard sending material up to the Citadel, and how the farmers of Greymoor have let their towers become dilapidated. But that isn't the only plant life found in Shellwood. These white flowers also seem to reside in this part of the map, and we can see white petals raining down from the sky in several shots in Shellwood. Shellwood also appears to be home to some old stone building, but I'm not sure where on the map this place is. It looks rad as hell though. To the left of Shellwood are 2 areas which we can't quite identify. We can see the last few characters on the bottom area's name, which appear to read M-Ways, but the top area has no name. My best guess for the M-Ways is that they are this clover area, which you've seen in various clips and screenshots. But I don't think this guess is accurate. I have a feeling this area is further left of the Moss Grotto, not directly above it. Despite only seeing a sliver of it, I think I do know the identity of this top area. I believe this is the Steppes, a compound on the edge of Pharloom covered in dust from the strong winds that blow near the top of the world. I think the Steppes serve two main functions in Pharloom. First, it's a prison for characters like Grendel, a bug sentenced to life in prison for what he calls a little light thievery. Hornet can break Grendel out of prison, and I'll be curious to see if there are any consequences to this action. Are items going to suddenly disappear from various shops in Pharloom? Will Grendel rob Hornet at some point? One thing I loved about Hollow Knight were the unexpected moments that caught you off guard. I think
it's funny already knowing what he's right and wrong about. Yeah, man. Now that I'm like looking at this, because I really thought it was just gonna be like a I guess like a different kind of lore video, because I know we went over like the Hollow Knight lore one, but I thought there was like new stuff that I don't know. But I feel like now I should have saved this for like if when I played Silksong and then I go back and I'm like, what did he get wrong? Because I feel like I'm just looking at this and I'm going like, oh, cool. I don't know.
we all remember that moment when we first stepped out into the City of Tears the first time as the vocals kicked in and the sheer beauty and scope of Hollow Knight's world opened up before our very eyes. It was truly a magical moment, but it's not the moment that made me fall in love with Hollow Knight.
I mean, really, it couldn't be anything but speculation. I mean, I guess, but like he said in his other video, he didn't go over like everything. So I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know.
No, that moment came when I realized that Millabelle had run off with all my Geo. Those moments, when the game plays with your expectations and subverts them in silly ways, is what I might be looking forward to the most in Silksong. I don't know what Team Cherry plans to do with Grendel or any of these other little freaks, but I seriously can't wait to find out. The second purpose the Steppes serve is to judge the pilgrims looking to enter the citadel. The Steppes appear to be home to the Last Judge, an intimidating figure who I think passes judgment on any who would seek to reach the top of Pharloom. I think the Last Judge will be a mandatory boss fight, required to defeat before...
He spoiled the funniest part of Hollow Knight? No, I knew about that bank thing, if that's what you're talking about. I saw a TikTok about that. I thought it was the funniest thing, dude. Team Cherry loves the freaking
Hornet
troll.
Can enter the citadel. In the release trailer, there is a cutscene of Hornet opening a massive door. This cutscene likely plays when Hornet first reaches the citadel, and in the trailer, it plays right after a clip of Hornet fighting the Last Judge. Additionally, this boss has been given the spotlight multiple times, so he seems pretty important. So if the Last Judge is the final boss before the citadel, it would make sense for him to be located close to where Hornet first fell, since the citadel is likely not much higher up than the waste she was carried through. And that's it for the map. Nothing about its overall structure is that surprising, but my map from 2022 did get a few things wrong, like thinking the Marrow and the Bone Forest were two separate areas, and thinking Shellwood was above the steppes. So I wasn't totally accurate. If you know of any fan maps that were more accurate than mine, leave a comment. I'd love to know if any better map makers are out there walking among us. But what about the areas we know of that weren't on the map? The most mysterious area to me is shown in this clip from the newest trailer. I talked in the past about this area being covered in some kind of spores, but I don't think that's quite the case anymore. While I still think these things...
Are you guys 5? Are you 5? Among Us! Among Us! Among Us! Oh, I love Among Us! Among Us! Such vintage! Among Us!
are based on spores visually, they function more like snowflakes.
Goops.
It wouldn't be the first time Team Cherry used something that wasn't snow to evoke the idea of snow. Hornet's masks in this shot are tinted blue, with ice particles appearing on them, indicating that Hornet will take damage in this room without some kind of protection. Another mysterious area is the Coral Gorge. All we can tell is that the area is very tall. I'm guessing both of these areas are further to the right on the map. It doesn't make sense for them to be below the lava found in the Marrow, Deep Docks, or the Farfields, and it doesn't make sense for them to be above the Citadel, since it's at the top of the world. In the Edge magazine interview, Team Cherry said that getting to the Citadel was only part of Hornet's journey. Once she gets there, the next task is to get to the top of the Citadel. So it seems like the map will probably continue going up even higher.
So why does she want to like go up? Is my question. Why she need to? Why she fall? Why did she fall? Why does she need to go up?
The Citadel itself will probably have a few different sub-areas to it, such as Cogworks, the clock tower / music box theme level.
The Citadel is where she's being brought to. Why? Why?
That looks like it was pulled.
to meet the person who asked for her kidnapping. What? What? Why did they kidnap her? Why? You don't know. Oh. Oh, that's the whole thing. Oh. Well, that's unsatisfying.
Pulled out of Castlevania 3. Out of any level shown off in Silksong, this is the one I am looking forward to the most. I love the mechanical aesthetic, and the platforming here looks amazing.
Bug yowie!
There also seems to be some university or school where Hornet will fight a trio of scholars. There's a furnace area, likely where all the bells are being manufactured. There's some kind of grand stage or auditorium, and there's like a big garbage disposal area for grinding up junk and other worthless trash. As far as I can tell, all of these areas are somewhere in the Citadel. And who knows, there might even be a few more areas, both inside and outside the Citadel, we haven't seen at all yet. The release trailer for Hollow Knight showed off every area in the game, minus the Abyss. But Hollow Knight also had to prove itself a bit more than Silksong. Silksong is going to sell millions of copies no problem, so the trailers can be a little more reserved. Team Cherry also talked about their desire to keep spoilers for Silksong to a minimum, which is part of why they decided not to give regular updates on the game's development. That said, I don't want to get my hopes up that Silksong is 10 times bigger than Hollow Knight. I just hope that the areas we do get are polished and well designed, with lots of interesting details and an atmosphere that pulls me in just like the first game did. There's a lot of hype surrounding this game, and as someone who's been desperately waiting for it since day one, I'm trying my best to keep my expectations in check.
So he was supposed to get sacrificed, so what? Is he supposed to play the game as a ghost? What the hell? What do you mean you're alive, Mossbag? You're supposed to be freaking dead.
Since I mentioned the Hollow Knight trailer, I want to make a couple more comparisons to it in regards to enemy and boss counts. Hollow Knight's trailer boasted over 140 enemies and 30 bosses. Silksong, on the other hand, claims to have over 200 enemies and 40 bosses. Now in Hollow Knight, Team Cherry counted bosses in with enemies, which does make these numbers a little misrepresentative, but we can assume that Silksong is doing the same thing. But something Team Cherry has talked about with Silksong is that they wanted the enemies to be more complex, in order to keep up with Hornet's quick speed.
This was before the game came out. He has since been thrown into a volcano. Ah, that explains why he hasn't posted since this video. I have so much respect for Team Cherry, for them not sending... Bro, what? Wait, why did my dyslexia auto-correct that? That's crazy. For Team Cherry, from them not sending out review copies, so everybody got a fair start, and there weren't any chances to get spoiled from rogue reviews. That's actually crazy. Like, the level of commitment they had to making sure spoilers stay to a minimum is like... I don't know. I respect that heavy. I respect the devs heavy. I respect indie devs so much. Team Terry, good shit. Good shit.
And expanded moveset. So your average enemy in Silksong has more moves and animations than Hollow Knight, making the 60 additional enemies even more impressive. From the various trailers, screenshots, and demos over the years, we've already seen almost 100 different enemies. One of the newest ones revealed is this 4-armed flying member of the Citadel cast, wielding what appears to be a giant music bow. This appears to be a late game enemy, and he just looks amazing. This Mantis duo from the release trailer also look like a fun fight. There's also these massive moss-covered bugs. They remind me of boo flies from Hollow Knight if they were actually threatening. This chain wielder from Greymoor also looks really cool. There's so much creativity and enemy design in this game. I love that the bugs in Deep Docks wear bells on their heads and fight using the symbols. I love the mosquito-like enemies in Greymoor that resemble ravens on a misty moor. I love these weirdos in Shellwood and their makeshift tools made from sticks. This guy with the giant scissors is hilarious. I just hope he doesn't run with those things. The ants look badass, wearing the shells of bugs they've slain in combat. This bug that
is
like
really
coral
cool.
Is incredibly cute. I hate this asshole, but I'm a big fan of this moss-covered deer thing. Even the ugly roaches are cute. A lot of the enemies are on the Hollow Knight wiki if you want to look at them, and that's hollowknight.wiki. Don't go to the fandom wiki.
Wait, why not?
In fact, if you have any interest in using or contributing to a wiki for Silksong, please make sure to use the non-fandom wiki.
Wait, why?
Let's talk bosses. I love the...
Wait, anyone know why? Fandom wikis are cancer. All my homies hate fandom. Wait, what is... Hold on. What is the lore behind fandom? Huh? Wait, what's this hate with fandom wikis? Fandom laces their wiki with sweet stuff with ads and shit? Okay, like, I knew that. Oh, so people just hate it because of ads? Try opening a fandom wiki on mobile right now. This is my first time hearing about fandom wiki hate. I feel like it's so specific. I get one ad banner on the top. Okay, and like another ad. I feel like it's not so egregious. Mossbag has a whole entire video about what? Wait, what? Wait, he does? Which one? And pay to be the top search result? Oh. Oh, that's sucky. Fandom got bought out and is a total ad spam to the point of being borderline unusable, and they also don't police nearly as well for just made up bullshit. Okay. Okay, fair. I had no idea. There's even a browser add-on that redirects you away from fandom to actual good fan wikis. That's nutso. Man, I'm gonna have to watch that Mossbag video then, because I was not aware.
Boss battles in Hollow Knight so much, and the bosses are easily one of the things I'm most excited for in Silksong. Bosses are like the final words of a sentence. It's crucial that they are handled goodly. From my count, 21 bosses have already been shown off, and now I'm going to talk about them in alphabetical order. Please note that some of these bosses don't have official names yet, so I have to use fake names for them. But I'm not going to tell you which ones have fake names and which ones have real names. You'll have to figure that one out for yourself, if you think you can. First up is Ask Jim. One thing I loved about Hollow Knight was that, despite its dark atmosphere and somber story, it wasn't afraid to have a boss that throws poop at you, and Silksong continues that tradition well, with a boss that throws the thing that poop comes from it.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that's what that was. I didn't even know I was looking at. I thought that was a shield. No, it's just his huge, voluptuous bug ass barreling straight towards me.
The Ask Jim fight doesn't seem that complicated,
Holy fuck.
but the idea of a fat butcher boss is super cool, and I'm excited to learn the lore of this guy. The Bell Beast is Silksong's travel system, similar to the...
Weren't people mad that they couldn't pet this guy? Is this true? Yeah, what's up with that, Team Cherry? Why would you fucking do that? Fucking... LDevs, they're the worst.
System, similar to the Last Stag in Hollow Knight. But unlike the Last Stag, Hornet actually has to fight and subdue the Bell Beast first. This is bound to be one of the earlier fights in the game, and I think it will be interesting to compare it to Hollow Knight's massive Moss Charger. They seem like they have similar profiles, so a comparison seems apt. It will be a pretty low bar to surpass massive Moss Charger in terms of complexity.
Oh, you fight him too? What the freak?
So let's see if the Bell Beast can do it. The Bell Shrine Spider looks like a pretty wicked fight. Their design is kind of dorky, but they make up for it a little by dual-wielding needles. I'm a huge fan of this attack where they pull up the ground using silk hanging from the ceiling. It's nice to see Hornet face off against another spider too.
That's so cool.
And there's no doubt this guy is important to the greater lore of Silksong. The Cogworks Gay Lovers attacks evoke the core...
What? Bossbag. Please, Bossbag. You can't just keep going like you didn't just fucking say that. You can't. He didn't stutter. Okay, he didn't stutter, and that's why I'm so fucking stun-locked. Oh my fucking god.
Coordination displayed by the Mantis Lords in Hollow.
He can't keep getting away with this. He can't.
Knight. But this time, they seem even more mechanical, as if they are a part of the Cogsworks machinery surrounding them. In fact, these two might actually be mechanical beings, given the particles that come off them when they get hit. Also, this frame of them embracing has led some people to theorize that they are gay lovers. Gay characters are not unheard of in Hollow Knight, so it's certainly possible.
Wait, what?
But
for real? Me, Lemur, you have done this thing. Is it possible? This world's cruelty. I thought it overwhelming, but Lemur, such great compassion. That Ches love would know her partner's heart even aeon past. Oh, okay.
Gay characters are not unheard of in Hollow Knight, so it's certainly possible. But if they are...
Remember the bug Yuri with the Mantis Lord daughter? I actually forgot. Oh crap. I forgot. Sorry.
Robots, can they really love? If they're gay, were they programmed that way? But more importantly than all of that, should they really be engaging in displays of affection while at work? We saw...
Yes. Yes, they should.
The Coral King once in Silksong's first trailer, and have only seen one screenshot of him since. Looks like he has the power to...
Hey, that's not a clanker. That's not a clanker. That's not a clanker. Right? That's not a clanker. Don't say that. That's rude.
Command Coral. Wow. Better not make him mad. His henchmen do look badass, I'll admit. Otherwise, I don't have much to say about this guy. I do want to know how he got this scar. We've seen the drill heads in 2 separate trailers using the same attack. I'm not sure if these guys are going to be all that complex, but given that they retreat into the walls, they're going to force Hornet to be on the defensive. So this fight will probably feel a bit different than the others. Some people complain about the Nightmare King Grimm fight, because Grimm disappears.
This looks straight out of Has-Been Hotel. Am I crazy? I never seen the show. Am I nuts? Oh my god.
Disappears for parts of it, forcing the player to wait. But personally, I think these types of bosses can add diversity to the boss roster. So I'm not against the idea of bosses leaving the room like this. It just needs to be handled in a way that doesn't make the boss too annoying to fight. Frogman is probably the best character Team Cherry has ever created. He looks so good, it's insane. He's
Okay. I could fit the VTuber stereotype right now and say something extremely sexual. But I won't. Just know that I am thinking it.
like a giant frog bug. Although I guess he doesn't have a frog tongue because he tries to suck Hornet into his mouth. All I know is the first time I'm fighting him, I am jumping straight into that perfectly shaped maw. The Golem is the boss that stuck out to me the most when the first trailer dropped in 2019. The scale of it in terms of size on screen is just completely unmatched by anything in Hollow Knight. It really felt like Team Cherry was upping the ante with their new Hollow Knight game, and this guy was a big part of why. I'm curious to see what his actual moveset will be. Will he be able to just grab Hornet and throw her around? Or does he just smash platforms?
This boss
Either
is
way,
freaky.
this boss looks amazing, and I can't wait to fight him. Hunter Queen Carmelita is another iconic Silksong boss. Her battle arena is reminiscent of Grimm's Tent or the Colosseum of Fools, but even more grand in scale. What drives me crazy is that we haven't even seen her or her arena since 2019. I can only imagine this place has received an overhaul since then. This is probably the boss I'm most excited to fight, if I'm being honest, but I really could say that about 10 different bosses on this list, so maybe that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, all the boss design here so far looks like really, really cool. I've obviously never seen all the bosses in Hollow Knight yet because I've kind of yet to beat it. But they all look like just really amazing to fight. I mean, not even aesthetically, but also gameplay wise. Like, I feel like I'm seeing a bit more happening comparing to Hollow Knight. But again, this is coming from someone who's like not finished Hollow Knight yet, so please take that with a grain of salt. But I don't know. I think like the patterns of the attacks, like it just looks really interesting, and I want to play it really, really bad.
The Lace 1 fight is interesting because I've already played it. It was a tough fight for me because
Why are you watching Silksong stuff instead of playing Hollow Knight? Because you can't tell me what to do. You're not my fucking mother.
I wasn't used to Hornet's controls at all, but after a few fights, I was able to beat her. The fight was very well designed, and it felt like an exhilarating dance between two passionate warriors. I'm excited to try the fight out again, this time from the comfort of my own home, instead of the scary, confusing land of Melbourne, Australia. Similar to Hornet in Hollow Knight, Lace's second fight will probably be one of the best fights in the game. From what little we know about Lace, her sassy personality is a great contrast to Hornet's bluntness, and her lore is going to be crucial to understanding Silksong's story. This fight is going to be a good one. The last judge fight looks really fun. Not only is he massive, but he's also extremely fast. He also uses a big thurible on a chain as a wrecking ball, and can even use it to light the ground on fire. He's also another important lore boss. Mainly I want to know why his mascara is running. The Leaf Lady seems to be based off those insects that evolved to look like
I made him cry.
leaves as camouflage, and she seems to reside in some creepy looking temple, as if she's lying in wait to claim her next victim. I'm hoping this fight brings the same kind of horror vibes that No Eyes did in the original Hollow Knight. She can even summon little leaf minions, which are both creepy and cute at the same time. I wasn't too fond of this boss when I first saw her, but she's grown on me in the past 3 years since she was revealed. I can't wait to kill her.
What a fucking sentence. what a fucking sentence. But she's grown on me in the past 3 years and she was revealed. I can't wait to kill her. I'm sorry. Fucking psychopath.
I'm not particularly excited to fight Moss Mother. I'm not sure, but we might be related somewhere down the line, so that might be awkward. On top of that, this fight just looks too easy. It will probably only take me 4 or 5 attempts. This next boss fight was featured just recently as a Steam trading card. All we have is a name, a picture, and a brief description. They are honestly kinda wild. This is Phantom. According to their Steam trading card, they are a mournful creature tasked alone to expel the Citadel's choking refuse. Their talent with a long pin is unmatched. I think this character looks like a DeviantArt OC, but I also feel that way about Grim.
It's the Has-Been Hotel, isn't it? It's that, yeah, Has-Been Hotel does really look like one DeviantArt OC. I won't lie.
And Grim is both an awesome character and one of the best boss fights in Hollow Knight. So I'll be curious to see what Phantom is like. Fighting an enemy with a long-range melee weapon sounds interesting, and their lore makes them sound like some sort of Grim Reaper, visiting pilgrims rejected from the Citadel and making them disappear. The Scholarly Suite is interesting because it's going to be a trio battle. Of course, the trio battle from Hollow Knight, Sisters of Battle, is a contender for the best boss fight in that entire game, so that's a good sign. However, these enemies probably won't have identical attacks, so we really don't have any analogy for this fight, so I'll be curious to see how Team Cherry handles it. This trio is said to guard some dusty vault of knowledge, so perhaps defeating them will reveal how pharloom came to be in its current predicament, with the Citadel cast ruling over the bugs down below. This Seth fight looks great. I love that he throws his shield around like that American captain guy. Seth is described as an ancient guardian protecting a long-forgotten secret amidst the tangled roots at the base of the Citadel. Whatever he's protecting, it seems connected to the white flowers we've seen around Pharloom, given we can see white petals raining down from the sky in his arena. So perhaps whatever Seth is guarding is responsible for creating these flowers. Given how powerful a similar flower was in Hollow Knight, this would be a big deal if true. Skull King looks like a large version of a regular enemy. I still think the fight looks fun, but it's probably not going to be on the same level as top tier boss fights like Lace or Frogman. Hi, Mossbags Editor here. I know you're not watching the video to hear my opinions, but I just wanted to insert them anyway. Skull King is baby girl.
What the what? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What? Alright.
Hi, Mossbags Editor here. Skull King 28 baby girl. Steel Assassin Sharp was first revealed all the way back in 2018, before we even knew that Silksong was its own game, which means we've been waiting 7 years to see this guy in action. Sharp is one of 3 assassins sent on a mission to kill Hornet. Given his similarity to Steel Soul Jin, it's likely his orders come from the Masters, a mysterious group that seem to have some connection to the Void. Sharp himself seems to be made of Void, as his nose can stretch out into a long-reaching tentacle. The Masters are probably one of the single biggest mysteries in Hollow Knight, and I hope Silksong explains their nature a little bit more this time around. We've seen one of Sharp's 2 associates already, but we don't know their name, and the sequence they appear in doesn't really look like a boss fight. But I'm still counting it as a boss fight for now. I'm sure Hornet will have a proper fight with him at some point. Rounding out the list is Trabio. According to his Steam trading card, he's a haughty thespian convinced that only dazzling performance can raise Pharloom from the throes of death. According to Ari Gibson, he's going to make a grand entrance onto the stage, utterly convinced of his own brilliance, and will then proceed to do a lot of stupid things. Needless to say, Trabio will be a top tier boss fight.
Me too.
The release trailer also gives us a look at another new crest, bringing the total up to 7 by my count. Crests do 2 main things. First of all, crests change Hornet's moveset. Hornet's regular Needle Slash will take on different forms, such as taking the shape of a claw while wearing the claw crest. Hornet's attack out of her sprinting state also changes, such as the Hunter crest sprint attack being an uppercut move, allowing Hornet to hit aerial enemies. Hornet's dive also takes on different forms, with the claw crest making Hornet spin like a buzzsaw, and the heart crest having a much more shallow angle.
I didn't know that you could even change that. That's so cool.
The newest crest actually makes Hornet phase out of reality when performing this attack. That seems kinda OP, so maybe it's a late game crest. The other major feature of crests is determining how many tools and skills Hornet can equip. Tools are similar to crests from Hollow Knight, but instead of costing a certain number of notches, tools come in 3 classes, and the crest you choose determines how many tools of each color you can have equipped at one time. For example, the Cog crest lets Hornet equip 3 red tools, the most of any crest, but that comes at the cost of being unable to equip a skill. Crests can also have other unique features. The Arrow crest has its own silk reserve that collects silk separately from Hornet's main pool, although it's unclear what the crest does with this silk. Of the 3 tool types, red tools are the ones we know most about. Hornet can actively use them, while blue and yellow tools only apply passive effects. Here's all the red tools that have been shown off over the years. 21 in all. 2 of these tools...
21 tools? And these are just the red ones? Holy shit. Okay, so I wasn't wrong when I said that it feels like Hornet has a lot more things that she can do compared to Hollow Knight. Wow, 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 wow. And there's more confirmed red tools in that now. Insane. Actually insane, dude. What?
This singular spike and these twin bone blades have never appeared outside of...
Team Cherry was like, what kind of weapons and movement should we put in the game? And they just went, yes. Yup.
The menu in the game's first trailer, so I'm not sure they're actually in the game at this point. Most of these tools are pretty self-explanatory. A lot of them involve throwing objects at enemies to deal damage. One big difference with these red tools is that they cost shell shards to replenish. So I'm a little worried I won't want to use them because I'll feel like I'm wasting them. I'm the kind of person to finish an RPG with a bunch of unused items, so I might have to pay attention to that as I play. But not all red tools are just for throwing. This tool turns Hornet's body into a drill.
That is so
somehow. Cool. The lifeblood syringe gives Hornet lifeblood masks. This red object gives Hornet...
Excuse me?
Lifeblood syringe gives Hornet lifeblood masks.
Huh? That is so fucking cool.
This red object gives Hornet's needle a flame effect, seemingly allowing her to deal fire damage to enemies. But there are also a couple tools we haven't seen in action yet. This yellow jar looks a bit like the pot we saw near the Fleas, so perhaps this tool is unlocked by interacting with them. This purple syringe might be what gives Hornet her electric silk attack we saw in the sprite sheet released earlier this year. It seems this purplish pink color is related to electricity in this game. As for blue and yellow tools, we haven't seen them quite as much. There's these spikes that appear on Hornet's masks, which probably deal damage to enemies that hurt her. This item appears to be the Magma Bell, sold by Forge Daughter, which protects Hornet from lava damage. This tool acts as some sort of silk reserve. This mask probably gives Hornet an extra hit point. This tool extends Hornet's silk reserves. And the function of these last 2 tools remains a mystery to me. There also seems to be a tool that gives Hornet 1 silk notch when she has 0. There are also tools shown in the menu that we haven't seen in action yet. It's also hinted that Hornet can upgrade her tools somehow. Edge magazine talks about Hornet modifying her own tools based on things she sees in pharloom. There's also an item called Crafting Kit shown off in the latest trailer, which somehow makes Hornet's tools stronger. Another deviation from Hollow Knight is that Hornet can equip different silk skills she learns from the weavers residing in pharloom. Her starting spell is the Silk Spear, which just shoots out a big attack in front of her. Her Gossamer Storm attack creates a big AoE around her. This move lets her barrel through enemies in a whirlwind of silk. There are also 2 more silk skills we haven't seen Hornet use yet. This means Hornet might be able to find at least 5 weavers on her journey through pharloom. Another way Hornet may be able to augment her playstyle is with cloaks. Hornet's Hunter's Cloak is an item in her inventory, and it seems kinda pointless to have it there if she can't change it in some way. And we've seen 2 instances of Hornet using an altered cloak. She has a double jump where wings...
Can you actually it would be cool if we could change the color of the coat and stuff. But I doubt it, right? I feel like it's just gonna look red every time.
Come out from under the cloak, and a glide ability where she falls more slowly. I don't think both of these abilities can be equipped at once, which rules out only having 1 cloak that gets permanent upgrades, and it also locks them out of being tools since you can equip multiple tools of each color. In addition to all of that, We have this amazing sprite of Hornet with her cloak off.
Oh, okay. Why do you say amazing? Why do you say...
Why would she remove her cloak unless it can be...
Okay, but why did he say it was... Why are you not talking about that? Why do you think it's amazing, boss bag? Why do you think it's amazing? Do you want to tell the class? Please? Please? Someone made a mod where she's naked all the time? Bro, I saw that. And it's like, it just makes me facepalm because it's like, bro, not even in a game about bugs can you fucking escape women being sexualized. I'm not complaining too much though. This is great. Keep doing that.
Swapped out or augmented in some way. So I suspect that Hornet can unlock more cloaks and swap between them or alter her Huntress cloak while she is at a bench. And I think the different cloak abilities are all related to Hornet's non-combat related movement. For example, this scuttle ability might replace Hornet's sprint move when wearing a special spidery cloak. Before I wrap things up with my final lore breakdown, I want to rapid fire a bunch of stuff from the trailer and demo that didn't fit nicely into the other parts of the video. In the options menu, you can turn off Hornet's voice, so you aren't constantly hearing
Shaw!
and
No! But that's the best part!
Oh my god!
Okay, that's not a part of it. But what the fuck? If you... Oh, no. If you turn this off, I think, like, there's genuinely something wrong with you. Objectively.
while playing the game. I have no idea why anyone would want to turn this off. You can also apparently disable the HUD as well. This will be very nice, both for taking clean screenshots and footage of the game, and for people wanting some kind of hard mode variation where you don't know how much health or silk you have. It appears this game's equivalent of Hollow Knight's Dream Nail is the Needlein. The button didn't do anything in the demo, but I'm hoping this will work like the Ocarina in Ocarina of Time. It seems like crests can be upgraded, since the Wanderer crest in the recent demo has pips that don't do anything. Perhaps these can be upgraded into tool slots. It looks like the bind ability is much slower than when it was first shown off in the 2019 reveal trailer. It was blazingly fast before, so Team Cherry probably realized it made encounters too easy. The Moss Mother's boss theme has been changed to the song used in the 2022 Xbox trailer. The game now does this flashy slow motion effect at the end of certain enemy encounters. Lace can now get knocked into the lava during her Deep Docks fight, but she jumps right out and is fine. Try this at home, kids.
No, don't.
If Lace kills Hornet, she looks up to the sky for some reason,
No.
almost as if she's looking for something. Not quite sure what this is about. Perhaps she is looking towards the citadel? The old church in the Moss Grotto has been renamed to Ruined Chapel. This is huge. I'm planning another video to fully explain the significance of this, but I figured I should get this shorter video covering everything else out first. Team Cherry changed Hornet and Lace's dialogue to make Hornet refer to Lace as a child. We know that Hornet is actually an ancient being who has lived since the fall of Hallownest eons ago, so either Hornet is just calling Lace an immature young person here, or, all that LaceNet fanart I've been seeing over on Twitter.com for the past 6 years is extremely problematic.
Oh my god, bro.
Is it just me, or does this cutscene of Hornet reaching the Citadel look a little weird? It looks like Hornet is drawn in a different art style than normal. There is a noticeable evolution in Ari's art style over the years, but this took me a little by surprise. We see another cutscene in the trailer,
Looks fine to me.
this time in the art style I'm more familiar with, of Hornet training with a new bug, similar to how the Knight trains with the Nail Master.
Am I the only one thinking that the art style looks exactly the same? It looks the same. What's different?
Perhaps this is how Hornet can unlock needle arts for her different crests. I think it's time to finally dive into what the overall lore for
This is, bro. Oh, this is what I wanted. Thank you.
Silksong might be. Now, full disclosure, I'm going to make some pretty big claims in this section of the video, so please keep in mind that I am doing a lot of speculation here. We just don't have enough details to say anything conclusively about this game's story, and I'm almost certain that Team Cherry has been intentionally withholding key characters and plot points from us. So take everything you're about to hear with a grain of salt. Pharloom is described as a kingdom haunted by silk and song. Hornet has been captured and brought to this strange land, and now she must ascend on a deadly pilgrimage to the kingdom's peak. But who exactly are the Citadel caste who rule over the land of Pharloom, and who is Lace, the mysterious bug intent on stopping Hornet in her tracks? Let's start by going over what we know. Silksong is going to start with a poem called Pharloom's Folly by conductor Romano. The poem reads as follows. They see your beauty, so frail and fine. They see your peace, woven of faith and toil. They forget your heart, bound in slumber and servitude. When you wake, they shall see your truth, a beast's nature bare to all. The game's first cutscene shows Hornet being carried into Pharloom inside a cage imbued with a seal of binding. A glowing white fly comes down from the sky and lands on the cage, breaking the seal. As soon as that happens, strands of thread start to appear around Hornet. Hornet fights back and the threads engulf the bridge beneath Hornet and her captors. The bridge breaks and Hornet tumbles down a massive chasm, landing at the bottom of Moss Grotto.
What the hell?
As Hornet climbs her way out of the Moss Grotto, she frequently stops to have what I can only imagine is a realistic depiction of a panic attack. Whether it was due to her time trapped with a seal of binding, the strange event that happened after it was broken, or plummeting down a deep chasm, something has drained Hornet of her energy. After defeating the Moss Mother, Hornet collapses, but is seemingly rescued by this church keeper, who teaches Hornet some kind of song. Hornet then begins her journey through Pharloom. In Hornet's way are many hostile bugs who give off silk when hit, and threads can sometimes be seen above them when they are killed. It seems that these threads always point back towards the citadel, with threads in the Moss Grotto and Shellwood going to the right, threads in the Farfields going left, and the threads in Deep Docks basically going straight up.
Wait, that's
the
so
pilgrims
cool.
of Pharloom also fanatically collect silk, to the point of even attacking one another, and carry it to the citadel in some strange ritual. Hornet is eventually
How do people even notice that thing? I wouldn't have noticed that shit.
confronted by Lace, who mocks her, offering to kill her to save her from the suffering she would face above. After this fight, Hornet finds a bell shrine, which we can only assume does something. Hornet will also meet weavers along her journey, who will give her special skills to help her overcome the challenges she will face ahead. According to Hollow Knight, Pharloom was
Yeah, Hollow Knight fans were genuinely going crazy and going insane, becoming schizophrenic for the past 7 years. Fucking insane.
likely the weaver's original home, but there don't seem to be many left here. Now that we've laid some foundation, let's start breaking some of this down. Let's start by talking about the Citadel cast and the nature of Pharloom itself. In the arena where Hornet fights Trabio, we can see a massive model in the background. At the top of the model is a symbol seen all over Pharloom, which appears to be a ball of silk positioned within a hook. Underneath this ball is a series of tubes that weave through these bulbous structures. This is very reminiscent of the Citadel, as massive pipes can be seen in the background. Remember those strange structures on the map I mentioned earlier, where I said the weavers might be found? They are likely the endpoints for these pipes. I believe Pharloom has trapped these weavers and is farming them for their sweet, sweet silk. Which sounds a bit weird, but Hollow Knight's plot involved killing babies, so I don't think Team Cherry is against their game featuring a giant silk milking machine. I think that's why the kingdom is called Pharloom. The entire kingdom itself is a giant loom, with strands from the weavers traveling through the pipes up to this silk ball and then out across the entire kingdom, connecting to every bug below the citadel, turning the land into one giant machine built to serve the will of those at the top. The Citadel cast's subjugation of the weavers seems reflected in the Pharloom's Folly poem from the start of the game. It's not uncommon for spiders in Hollow Knight to be referred to as beasts, and given the existence of weaver effigies in Pharloom, it seems like the Citadel cast views them very negatively. Which makes sense, since it seems like at some point in the past, the weavers lived happily in this kingdom, but are now almost completely gone. It's also possible that this giant ball of silk serves another purpose, that of a cocoon. I say this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's possible that Pharloom's Folly is referring to one specific being, similar to how the elegy for Hallownest could be read as referring directly to the Pale King. There might be a higher being inside this ball of silk, and the Citadel cast is using some combination of silk and song to keep it slumbering while they feed off its power. Second, there's a noticeable pattern of cocoons in Silksong. The weavers Hornet finds in Pharloom are wrapped in cocoons, and when Hornet dies, her corpse somehow becomes wrapped within a cocoon as well. Her corpse is also weirdly void-like, but I'll address that later, I swear.
Wait, that's true, because she's not even like a void creature, so... Huh? But isn't she a spider? Doesn't that make sense?
think the Citadel cast is using some sort of spell to force weavers and other spider-like creatures like Hornet into cocoons. This spell could be what affects Hornet after the seal of binding on her is broken, and is also what makes her so weak during the Moss Grotto segment of the game. I don't think it's until the Church Keeper teaches Hornet a song on her needlein that Hornet is able to dispel this power over her. This song might also be how Hornet frees the other weavers from their cocoons too. If placing spiders in cocoons is how the Citadel exerts power over them, then this giant ball at the top of the kingdom is the ultimate expression of their control. I think the Citadel has captured the higher being that created the weavers inside a massive cocoon. And through their control of, let's call them, the Weaver Lord, and the Weaver tribe in general, the Citadel cast has been able to build a massive city that shines bright as gold. A city so grand, only the pilgrims selected as worthy are allowed to enter, and many more souls below will be forced into servitude. Wow, that sounds bad. But it seems there is some kind of imbalance within the Citadel cast. I think in recent times, something about the Citadel's control over the Weavers has diminished. This is forcing the Citadel to take drastic measures, compelling pilgrims to collect silk, and driving up the production of bells. And they've even been forced to send out a party of bugs to capture Hornet from all the way in Hallownest. The question of why Hornet was brought to pharloom is probably going to be the main mystery to Silksong, and likely won't be answered until very far into the game. So chances are I'm way off base here, but I suspect Hornet was brought in as an attempt by the Citadel cast to stop or slow the awakening that threatens their superiority over pharloom. Perhaps being a spider born of the Pale King's essence makes Hornet's silk even more powerful than that of the Weavers. But whatever the Citadel's plans for Hornet were, they seem to have been derailed when the seal of binding over Hornet's cage was broken. And I think the culprit responsible for this is none other than Lace. Lace can be seen conducting the same species of glowing flies that both broke the seal on Hornet's cage and launched Hornet in Moss Grotto. Lace even makes a snide remark about Hornet launched Hornet in Moss Grotto.
Oh, stop that. Oh my god, I would have actually missed that. Holy shit. Okay, wait. So if she was getting kidnapped, wait, so we don't know where she was being taken to? Like, how does she know to go to the Citadel, etc., etc., etc.?
Lace even makes a snide remark about Hornet falling from her cage, indicating that she is already aware of what happened. So, Lace isn't just killing Hornet because she happened to bump into her and is racist against spiders or something. Well, she might still be racist against spiders, but the point is that Lace must have been planning to separate Hornet from her captors before they even arrived in pharloom. I suspect Lace is aware of what the Citadel cast intends to do with Hornet, since she comments that Hornet will face a great deal of suffering if she should end up in their hands.
She's being taken to the Citadel. She knows because everyone says, yeah, you'll probably find your at the Citadel. Oh, okay, so everyone should just be happening at the Citadel, okay.
And whatever it is the Citadel cast is doing, it seems Lace wants to put a stop to it. And the easiest way to stop the Citadel cast from using Hornet in their plan is to straight up murder her. Lace might be trying to defeat the Citadel cast by accelerating the awakening of the Weaver Lord, or all the Weavers, which would, in turn, destroy the mechanism by which the Citadel is controlling the people of pharloom. If this is all true, then does that mean Lace is a good guy? If this theory is correct, then Hornet's ultimate goal would be to awaken all the Weavers, or the Weaver Lord, which would also destroy any power the Citadel has in pharloom. So both Hornet and Lace's goals would overlap. The problem is, Hornet risks capture by the Citadel, which Lace probably views as too risky, and it kinda seems like Lace just enjoys killing people. So I'm not quite ready to call Lace a good guy, but we'll see. Maybe she really turns it around in the second half. So Silksong is about a three-way struggle between Hornet and the Weavers, Lace and any potential allies she might have, and the Citadel cast for the future of pharloom. And do you know what the best part about this theory is? If Hornet does succeed, and pharloom becomes a safe place for Weavers again, that would connect nicely back to a piece of lore from Hollow Knight. The Weavers actually left Hallownest before the events of the game to return back to their old home. This makes a lot more sense if Silksong is actually a prequel to Hollow Knight. The Citadel cast is the reason the Weavers had to leave, and Hornet's
But it's not a prequel, right? It's a sequel.
saving pharloom is the reason the Weavers can return. If Silksong is a sequel, then why did the Weavers leave in the first place? If it's because of the Citadel cast, why would they ever go back? Now this theory has its issues. First of all, I'm making a boatload of assumptions. What exactly makes Hornet capable of keeping this beast from awakening? How do we know for sure that this beast exists in the first place? How did the bell shrines fit into any of this? Who's this spider-like creature that's webbing them up? Did none of the weavers in Hallownest think to tell Hornet about any of this? Is it really fair to say that Hornet and Lace can't set aside their differences, defeat the Citadel cast together, and move into a bell-shaped apartment together and play Scrabble? Even with these lingering questions and bold assumptions, this is the best framework I've ever...
Guys, what if all the evil guys just held hands and then we sat down and we all play Go Fish together and we eat hard rock candy? I think that would be really nice.
...had for making sense of what little we know about Silksong's lore. But we're not quite done yet. We've still got to talk about the very last shot of the trailer. The room this shot is set in is filled with void. We can even hear a droning sound similar to what is featured in the Abyss in Hollow Knight.
She turns into like a void. What the hell? What the? Oh shit.
It's also been revealed that arcane eggs will appear in pharloom, objects created by the ancient civilization who worship the void in Hollow Knight. So it seems that same civilization, or another void-worshipping civilization, used to exist in pharloom as well. And there's the Steel Assassins, of course, who seem to be made of void themselves. It's not clear what they hope to accomplish by killing Hornet, but their master's plan likely involves void in some way. All this information implies that void is a universal force within the world of Hollow Knight. I mentioned earlier that we would talk about what's going on with the strange figure in Hornet's cocoon. Some have speculated this black stuff is void, but even though it is black particles, it doesn't really act like void. Compared to how the void looks when it's dripping off the collector, it's much more liquidy.
It like descends instead of ascending, which is a bit odd.
These black particles might be chunks of carapace or exoskeleton. But for the sake of argument, let's say it is void. If that's the case, then it might line up with the Hunter's journal entry for the Shade, saying that we all leave a stain of regret when we die. I've said before that I think void might form from the regrets of dying bugs. That could explain why there is void in the Pale King's throne room. His deep regrets about sacrificing his children to the void caused him to leave a dark stain on the world. That might also explain why his corpse is a hollowed out shell when we find him.
Oh my god, you can hit the fucking corpse. Oh, you have to hit the corpse to get a fucking item. Team Cherry, why?
It's not quite the same as Hornet, as her whole body turned black, but if this stuff really is void, I think it's because void can form from regrets when bugs die, not because Hornet was a void being when she was alive.
Yeah, this would make way more sense.
And if it's true that regrets create void, then it makes sense that void can appear anywhere, and it would especially appear in places where many bugs have lived. Like in large civilizations where bad things happen, like Hallownest and Pharloom and my childhood home. In Hollow Knight, there was one object that Pharloom and my childhood home. In Hollow Knight, there was one object that seemed capable of neutralizing void entirely, and that was the delicate flower given to the knight by the Grey Mourner. We've recently learned about another item that will be in Pharloom called an everbloom. The sprite looks almost identical, but I'm honestly kind of confused. We've been seeing these white flowers in a lot of various Silksong promotional art and footage, but they don't really look like the same flower. Are there two different white flowers in Pharloom, or is there something I'm missing? It might be that everblooms are what Seth is guarding, as Team Cherry describes Seth as being an ancient guardian granted with incredible strength. It would make sense that a flower called Everbloom would give someone a longer life. But Seth also claims he was chosen by a power called the Voice. The delicate flower never had anything like this, so I'm not sure if it's really the same flower. These flowers, which look more like white roses than the delicate flowers found in Hollow Knight, seem to grow from the light in the room where Hornet fights Lace the second time. I assume this light is coming from the giant magic silk cocoon at the top of the citadel, but why that light grows flowers, I'm not sure. It might be a reference to the line in Fardom's Folly about the frail and fine beauty of the beast. Somehow, the cocoon that holds this beast shines a light that makes beautiful flowers grow. We even see floral patterns on certain walls within the citadel that look more like these white roses.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty important.
So these flowers seem more connected to the citadel than anything. Either way, If these everblooms are the same flowers as the delicate flower from Hollow Knight, that means Hornet might have a tool in her arsenal to deal with any void entities that might bother her, whether they be from the ancient civilization or the masters. And that's it. I can't believe it's been over 6.5 years since I posted my first Silksong trailer analysis video.
Holy
I only had
shit.
33,000 subscribers at the time.
Oh, wow.
And it's mind-blowing to think about how much things have changed for me since
Aw,
then. I want to thank all of
happy
you
for
for your
him.
support over the years. I'm looking forward to exploring the next chapter of Hollow Knight's story with you. And I'm excited for all the silly moments, epic boss fights, and crazy lore theories we're all going to share with each other. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Silksong is finally here, and nobody even had to sacrifice me.
Huh? Guys, they killed him before he could finish the video. Holy shit, guys, they got him. Guys, it was his last video. Holy fucking shit, they got him. Oh, little did he know. Oh my god. Alright, that was interesting to hear. Like, I guess a little about Silksong. They knew. It's raps. Now I feel like I feel like in a weird way, even though I still haven't finished Hollow Knight, I'm ready to play Silksong now. Like I just want to play Silksong. You know? That's a good watch. His videos are a good watch. Boom, please, boom, please subscribe. Please, please. Thank you.